You're listening to After the Review.
After the review.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed.
We have our first casualty of the college football season, ladies and gentlemen. The Uconn Huskies are canceling the 2020 season due to coronavirus concerns. I'm going to break down what this means for college football moving forward this season. Some good news, some bad news that's come out in the last day or so. But if you could, like this video, share it on social media, subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell to make sure you get these daily update videos. I'd really appreciate it. It really helps the channel trying to get this thing growing. But let's see. Uconn becomes first FBS team to cancel football season because of coronavirus. Now, let's be honest. How many of y'all out there even knew Uconn had a football team? I know some of y'all didn't. Much more well known for their women's basketball and men's basketball. Let's be honest. They play in the AAC, the American Athletic Conference. Who even knows who's in that conference anymore? They used to be in the Big East. Not really a thing anymore, but that sort of a thing. It's very confusing. I'm a little surprised Uconn called it this early. It is only August, start of August. There is some time. I know they kind of got to get the players in and ready for camp, but I know a couple years ago there was talk about disbanding the program entirely because it just is a money hemorrhager. It doesn't make money like most other college football programs. So not super surprising that this was a program to take a hit and make this stand. There's also some strict regulations in Connecticut as far as teams coming in and out, or travel within and out of the state. So teams coming in, quarantine levels, makes it a lot more difficult. Plus, a lot of their schedule had ACC teams on it, and the ACC has already canceled non-conference games, so that it kind of put their schedule a little bit up in the air as it was. But this is a kind of a deal because it's the first Division I team to cancel a game, cancel the season. It is only a smaller school, so I don't know if it's going to affect the bigger schools. We do have some positive news, though. The Big Ten, which was kind of up in the air, has announced the schedule. They're going to do a 10-game schedule. 9 games that you play the other teams in your division, and then 1 game with the team across the division. But an interesting point here, Ohio State and Michigan moved to October 24th. Normally that game's played the week before Thanksgiving. So they're ready, maybe not so optimistic that the season's going to get finished. I'm 100% positive we're going to get a start to this college football season. I'm not so set we're going to get a finish to it. But they're starting it September 5th. The ACC is going to play the next week. The Big 12 is yet to decide, and the SEC and Pac-12 are a little bit later, September 26th. So, interesting here. Everyone has a bye week 13, November 28th. So, they're maybe trying to scoot this thing up as early as possible for a winter wave of this coronavirus, especially in these cold weather states. Who knows what this movement's going to be? Now, the NCAA has a couple of big decisions coming up in the next day or so. They're going to announce if they're going to cancel fall championships, such as volleyball, soccer, tennis, swimming, I believe. And this could be a big deal. Football is not included in this because they play in January, but it may be a bad show for the schools if they don't cancel the championship when the NCAA says, hey, you can't play these other fall sport championships, and football is just kind of hanging around. But again, money drives this machine. I don't like Mark Emmert. I hate the NCAA. They're a know-nothing conference. So if they say we're going to cancel these things, we may see a break from the NCAA with the Power 5. I talked about this yesterday on the podcast. The Power 5 schools could form a coalition where they pay players. They don't have limits on recruiting or anything like that. And we basically have a semi-pro league, and they're not the college champion, but they're your college football champion. I mean, it's very interesting. I know the Pac-12 and Big Ten have formed player coalitions worried about coronavirus, and they have listed demands and concerns that they want the schools to address before they come and play. We don't know how big these player coalitions are, but if they're big enough and substantial enough where schools could be in trouble about fielding a team if they don't play, it's really going to force their hand. Money drives this thing. Everybody knows that. Shoot, most of the schools in the South are expecting fans still. They haven't come out and said anything about no fans. They're still optimistic they can get fans in the stands to get some of that sweet moolah. But who knows the way things are going. Now, there's a little bit of bad news here. The NCAA has already canceled these Division III championships, which includes football. So that's not great for them saying we're going to cancel the fall championships for Division I maybe, which could then lead to the cancellation of football championships. I don't know. I know the SEC is going to be the last conference to fall in this thing, and we may have only one conference playing college football this year, and we may have your SEC champions, your national champion. I mean, that's usually what it is anyway, am I right? But they're going to be the last ones to fall, I think. So I'm not 100% sure we're going to get the season finished. I don't know where I'd rate myself right now. I'll think about it a little bit, what my confidence level is. But there is some good news that the Big Ten does have a schedule. They haven't really talked about Rutgers right now. Rutgers is an issue in the Big Ten. I don't know how they're going to play. They have a massive coronavirus outbreak, and New Jersey is insanely strict with its movement in and out of the state. So that's going to be a real issue. We're going to have to monitor this situation. It's ever changing. I am going to say 70%. I think we're going to get a full college football season. I 100% believe we're going to get a start to this season. I'm a little less solid we're going to get a finish to this season. But players got to be careful. They got to kind of put themselves in a semi-bubble. I know it's really hard to ask because they're not professionals. They're not getting paid. They're going to need some self-discipline, some self-isolation. I know there's been some outbreaks on campuses because of parties. And it's like, can you tell players not to go to parties? Yes, no. It's a very complex thing. But money's driving this bad boy. And that's going to lead to the final decision for these schools, especially the big ones that make all this money. But I think that's going to do it for us today. If you like this video, remember to share it and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you guys tomorrow.